Okay, so I got a wig in the mail, and it looks like this. As you can see, it's very light, very shiny. And I've been taking these pastels right here, Scarlet, and some corals and some pinks. And I've been just kind of streaking it through, and this is what I have so far. This nice bit of color here. And I'm leaving the under a little bit of a light pink, so it kind of... Because what you're doing is this makes it matte finished. It's still kind of wet, but it makes it more matte and more natural because it's different highlights. And you want to leave the light pink because that lets it have the natural flow still, because these are going to be slightly heavier chunks of hair once it's dry. But it photographs better and it's slightly less shiny. And I'll okay, what you want to do is you want to take a big chunk of hair like this, something thin, and spray it with water. Then you want to take a pastel of your choice and just run it through the hair. And then take a second color and run it through the hair as well. And this gives it a nice highlighting effect, if you can see that over here. This section's still wet, but this section's dry. It looks significantly darker and less shiny than this does down here. I'm just going to spray that. And you're just going to want to brush out your section of hair so there is no more knots in it at all. Because knots are really hard to get out once you've done the matte process. It's possible, but it's kind of hard because it like cements them together. The next step is you're going to want to get a bunch of shades of the same color, so that way it looks natural and like not all the same color. So I have all of these. You can also use chalk pastels, but I prefer that you would use soft pastels just because they're kind of a hybrid between soft and oil. Now, if you're doing ombre, I would put them in order from darkest to lightest. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in order right now. Okay, so now you're going to want to separate the top layer. You want to make sure these layers are thin because otherwise you could get into some problems and you could see the shine come through too much. So you just want to separate the top layer here as best as possible. Okay, so this is my top layer. You're just going to spray the top part of it, like from here, with water until it's wet. Kind of like a dampish wet. You don't have to make it soaking wet. Just wet enough for the pastel to take. So you're just going to spray this down. Put a good few sprays. Just kind of go like this and rub it in. Make sure it's really wet. And you're just going to put your hand under the wet spots. Like this, and you're going to take your darkest color and just run it through. Just enough to start picking up the color a little bit. Then you're going to go to your next color and fill the rest in. Fill the rest of your hair in with that color. So it looks like that. Like if you can see, this part is my next chunk to do. It's still really shiny. So you can leave some of this in there so it looks nice and natural. And then you just want to spray down some more. Do your next two colors. I'm doing two colors each, and for each of the pinks, one's more. The front needs help. I can only style the front when it's on though. But yeah, I haven't been able to capture the color really well on this camera. My camera, like my good camera, has been able to capture it, but this one hasn't. It's kind of pinker at the top and then fades to like a salmon coral. I don't know if you can even see that on here. And then it fades out to the light, and then super light. Now it is a little frizzy down at the bottom, but I think that's just knots because this side isn't frizzy. Now I'm making mine ombre. I still suggest you use a bunch of colors, but you don't have to fade them out like I am. You can just use like 3 colors all over. But it's a quick, easy way. I'll show you some before pictures.